It's throwback week here at footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 4 preview between the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with New Orleans.
The first question you have to ask yourself when you're facing the 3-4 defense is, how is your protection? I think that's the main focus of the Saints' game plan this week versus Green Bay. Zach Strief at one tackle, Jermon Bushrod at the other tackle. They're going to have to keep those edge rushers out of the backfield and out of the face of Drew Brees so he can effectively find guys down the football field. Also, I look at Brian De La Puente. He's going to have to manhandle B.J. Roger, keep him stonewalled, because we know Drew Brees routinely struggles versus 3-4 defenses, and if you can get pushed on the interior versus the type of attack the Saints have, it can cause problems. I have full confidence in Grubbs and also Jari Evans, and it goes without question that they have to get back to the running game. That's what makes the Saints a dangerous team when they're well balanced. But let's look at the defensive side of the football. Last week, it wasn't as bad as it may seem. They held the Chiefs to a lot of field goals. The offense couldn't put points on the board. So let's go into the lab and see how the Saints can better defend the Packers this week.
The Saints have a tough task this week going against the Green Bay Packers passing attack, but I think they can have a chance if they utilize personnel and the 4-2-5 defense. We're going to show right here, 4-2-5, quarter, half. This is what this setup is, and I'm going to explain this in a second, but we're going to talk about how they can defend the Packers utilizing the 4-2-5. And personnel is key, and you'll see right here why I have Martez Wilson and Dream Gillette as your edge rushers. They have the athleticism, they also have the speed to get to the quarterback. Cameron Jordan kicks down to the inside. He has the size to play the run and also the quicks to push the pocket. So he's 6'3", 284. He can do a great job in his nickel defense. Bunkley, you leave a traditional D tackle there. He can also get pushed with that nickel defense. I move Roman Harper to weak side backer. Anytime he's closer to the line of scrimmage, that's a win for the Saints. And you also give him his short area coverage responsibilities. I'm going to explain that in a second. I kept Curtis Lawson there to help better against the run to the strong side of the formation. Corey White, corner, but I put him at the strong safety position. He has short area responsibilities. Greer, I give the field side to. Jenkins, I have at the free. And Issa Abdul-Qaddus, I have him as the nickel guy to help out Patrick Robinson, who I'm going to give the short side of the field to because of the way he can effectively do that, as opposed to giving him the field side where I think he will struggle. So when you look at the 4-2-5, quarter, half, you give Abdul-Qaddus the deep half to help out the second, to help out Patrick Robinson here as he's going to squat and cover the flat. So that's their responsibilities. The strength of this defense is that it helps you against floor routes, and it also gives you a 4-man pass rush. And it also is a situational use for this team that loves to run a lot of trips formation and running to the wide side of the football field, two things that the Packers do a lot. So this defense can help these guys out. You have guys covering your short area passing game. Corey White, Lofton, and also Roman Harper. Hook the curl the flat. Deep quarter for Greer. Deep quarter for Jenkins. The reason why this formation could work versus the Packers is the fact that the free safety is now in better position to get to the action on the trip side. So if the Saints can get their personnel correctly and utilize the 4-2-5, their nickel defense with the way I have it set up, I think they have a chance against the Green Bay Packers.
Now let's move over to the Green Bay Packers, and when you look at the defensive side of the football, facing the New Orleans Saints, you have to look at a team's free safety and their slot corner, because that's where the Saints attack. And Morgan Burnett is a guy that's an exceptional player, so he's going to have to do a great job in playing center field. I also look at Casey Hayward, a rookie that has improved each and every week, so you have to like that matchup. The biggest question is, can Nick Perry consistently get pressure outside of Clay Matthews? I know what the Saints are going to do. They're going to try to operate the offense away from Matthews and force him to be a non-factor. If they can do that, then that's Nick Perry's job to come in and step up right away. Now, offensively, the Packers really just want to sit back and throw the football. But when they run the ball, they're just like the Saints. They're tough to beat. So what can they do this week versus the New Orleans Saints? Let's go back inside the lab and find out.
I think it's pretty simple what the Green Bay Packers want to do versus New Orleans Saints. They want to isolate the strong safety and take advantage. Why? Because they have a talented tight end right here in Jermichael Finley that can help them out in the passing game versus Roman Harper. That's always the matchup that we talk about when we break down the Saints defense. So if you want to isolate the tight end and isolate the strong safety and get this guy in situations where he's vulnerable, you can easily it's just formations and motions. What motion does, it gives you an idea of what type of coverage the defense is in. So naturally, if this guy is following this receiver, then you know you're manned up with that tight end right there. And if they want to get creative, and if this guy doesn't follow the receiver, all right, then that's fine. Just walk out this tight end, boom. Send the receiver back in motion. So now you really have a spacing issue. So with Green Bay trying to find a way to attack Roman Harper in coverage, it's all about formations and motions. And I think that can have an advantage because they're going to spread out the Saints. But isolating him in the passing game is key. And even in the running game, let's just do this. Let's draw it up like this. Let's say you have the tight end. Usually the strong safety is there. You have the receiver at the corner. Let's say you have a run play call and you want to get better versus the outside containing the defense, where the Saints also struggling containing the outside run. Let's say you bring this guy right here. You stop him right here. Now you're gonna bring this corner down closer. Usually this guy's gonna walk right here, and now you can get to the outside where he can effectively get reach on the edges. So Green Bay's main issue coming in is how can we find ways to attack the Saints in coverage and also in the running game attacking the outside. But really it's about formations and it's also about motion.
Now here's the personnel breakdown for the Saints and Packers games. You see the Saints are heavy offensively. Offensive line has some leakage, and defensively, you can't really trust what they got going on right now in New Orleans. Now you look at the Packers, they have talent everywhere else as far as personnel is concerned, but they have some questions, man, as far as play calling, so that could be the X factor in this ball game. I like the Packers in this game. I look at the matchup between the wide receivers and the secondary of New Orleans. I think that's a key matchup, but I also think Randall Cobb in the special teams department will have a huge impact on the ball game. And when you look at the Saints defense, they haven't gotten pressure as of yet. Green Bay does get pressure, and I think that can cause problems for the Saints as a whole. And I want to give a huge shout out to Saints fan and Packer fan forums for always showing football game plan support.